Power intoxicates and ensnares. The more a person possesses it, the further they drift from reality. A tyrant, having lost touch with reality, begins to transform a country into a stage for their own spectacle, where they are not just the main star, but a god beyond comparison. However, history shows that absolute power often borders on sheer madness. Let's explore some of the most shocking cases where power drove people insane. Jean-bédel Bokassa, a former officer in the French army, came to power in the Central African Republic in 1966 and without hesitation declared himself emperor. His subjects, exhausted, built palaces, sewed expensive uniforms and decorated the capital. All this effort was to glorify the new Emperor Bokassa I on December 4th, 1977. At the centre of the ceremony was a golden throne in the shape of an eagle with outstretched wings. On the dictator's head rested a diamond-studded crown with a massive 80-carat gemstone. He sat, beaming with pride, while the country suffocated in poverty. France tolerated this spectacle for exactly 3 years before overthrowing Bokassa in 1979, forcing him to flee into exile. Francisco Nguema, the dictator of Equatorial Guinea, led the country into collapse. He expelled teachers, doctors and scientists, closed schools, destroyed hospitals and banned education. Personally overseeing executions, he turned the country into a dystopia, but the most shocking moment came at his arrest. In 1979, when the military ousted him, he was found in the jungle. What was he doing? Chewing paper money. Yes, he was literally eating the national treasury. He burned part of the money, while the rest he swallowed. Perhaps in his mind a better alternative to letting it fall into enemy hands. Nguema was tried and executed, yet memories of his rule still terrify the people of his country. François Duvalier, upon seizing power in 1957, declared himself not just president but Baron Samedi, the leader of the dead. Duvalier used black magic to intimidate his enemies. Once, when John F. Kennedy criticised his regime, the Haitian dictator performed a ritual. He drove needles into a wax doll bearing Kennedy's face. Shortly thereafter, the US president was assassinated. Coincidence? Duvalier was certain it was his doing. Locals believed he was immortal. But in the end, diabetes struck him down, a disease even his mystical powers couldn't defeat. Muammar Gaddafi was an eccentric figure, but his personal security detail became one of his most absurd ideas. He created an all-female battalion of bodyguards, young women who were required to remain virgins and protect him to their last breath. Rumours suggested that Gaddafi believed women were more loyal and less prone to betrayal. However, as his regime crumbled, his Amazons disappeared faster than his power. When the rebels finally captured Gaddafi, not a single one of them remained by his side. Mobutu Sese Seko, the ruler of Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, decided that his country needed to be purged of all colonial influences. He banned French names, renamed cities, and even changed his own name to Sese Seko Kukumbendu Wazabanga, meaning the warrior who knows no defeat. Every news broadcast began with an image of Mobutu sitting among the clouds, and his signature leopard skin hat became the symbol of his dictatorship. Yet even the most majestic clouds eventually disperse. After being overthrown, he fled and died in exile. Idi Amin, the dictator of Uganda, was known for his insane antics. He bestowed upon himself ridiculously long titles, including Conqueror of the British Empire, and claimed to be the last king of Scotland. His paranoia reached such extremes that he expelled all Asians from the country, devastating the economy. But one of his most absurd acts was declaring war on the United States. Just 24 hours later, he announced victory. However, he lost a real war when he invaded Tanzania. His army was crushed and he fled to Libya. Saparmurat Niyazov, also known as Turkmenbashi, the leader of Turkmenistan, was infamous for his personality cult. He renamed months after his family members, banned ballet, circuses, and even gold teeth. He ordered the writing of a book, Ruhnama, which students were required to study in school. He claimed that reading it guaranteed a place in paradise. Turkmenbashi died in 2006 and his cult of personality gradually faded. Kim Jong-il took North Korea's personality cult to an extreme. He proclaimed himself a great general, claimed he was born under a double rainbow, and insisted that ancient prophecies had foretold his arrival. While the country suffered from famine, he allegedly invented burritos and dined only on the finest imported foods. His eccentricity went so far that he refused to fly, travelling exclusively in armoured trains. Kim Jong-il also claimed that during his first attempt at golf, he made 11 hole-in-ones, setting a record no one dared to question. Nicolae Ceaușescu, the Romanian dictator, built the illusion of grandeur, erecting colossal palaces while his people starved. His Palace of the Parliament is one of the largest administrative buildings in the world, yet Romania remained one of the poorest nations in Europe. Ceaușescu demanded that every Romanian praise him, imposed strict censorship, and even banned abortions, leading to a demographic crisis. Overwhelmed by paranoia, he established a vast surveillance system, fearing conspiracies. In 1989, mass protests led to his arrest. After a brief trial, he and his wife were publicly executed and the nation breathed a sigh of relief. Rafael Trujillo, ruler of the Dominican Republic, cultivated such a strong personality cult that even the capital, Santo Domingo, was renamed in his honour. He controlled the entire nation, executed dissenters, and lived in unimaginable luxury. His rule was marked by extreme brutality. He orchestrated mass killings, including the infamous 1937 Haitian massacre, where thousands were murdered simply for speaking French. He surrounded himself with opulent palaces, and his personal fortune dwarfed the national budget. Like many dictators before him, he met a violent end in 1961 when conspirators ambushed and shot him on a Dominican highway. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment about which historical figures you'd like to learn more about.